Alrighty, boys. So, I gotta show you guys my new build. Pretty exciting. So, this game I'm gonna be running Dark Harvest / Precision. So, this is something I kind of picked up while I've been playing in Korea. As you guys can see, I'm still playing in Korea. But, yeah, so Dark Harvest, Sudden Impact, 6 cents, which is really good for being able to kind of avoid vision whenever you're approaching ganks. And then, you know, you have Precision with your Triumph Haste, double adaptive plus scaling HP. So Kayn did just get nerfed, so his HP isn't as high, which is why I always prefer scaling HP as opposed to like just normal HP. I'm gonna queue around here. I'll probably slam a ward on my blue actually, that way I make sure I don't get invaded here. Okay. So we're gonna look to start Raptors. And so basically my new build, I've been experimenting a lot with a lot of different itemization and playstyles. And this new build specializes in solo carrying. And I actually think it's blue and red Kayn's best build. This singular build, it is just overall Kayn's best build for solo carrying. Because you're able to play red Kayn, which in this meta I find red Kayn to be much better because there's so much team fighting. And also you're able to have potential to solo carry because a standard Conquer Inspiration or Conquer Domination with a Cleaver and, you know, just straight up bruiser tanky items, all it does is make you a good frontline and a good tank, which doesn't help you solo carry. This build gives you the damage and the skirmish power to actually be able to carry fights, especially earlier on. So make sure to talk about my thought process as I'm kind of playing through the game. But right now, up against Diana, you can see that she opted to cheese me. Makes perfect sense when you factor in how early she was trying to invade me there. So you can see she doesn't have red, just has Raptors. So the appropriate response is for me to run directly into her bot side, invade her back. And I'm actually going to start with her wolves. It's a little bit safer this way. Now, the odds that Pantheon and Ezreal are going to come after me here is pretty high. So I'm going to spam ping this out here, just so my team doesn't die to a gank. And I'm not going to do the camp that they would probably be most expecting me to do, right? So that would be like blue buff. I'm actually going to level my W, which is slower for my clear. But let's say I need a fight, or I need to go and gank them bot lane. W is going to yield me much better results here. Basically gives me better gank potential. So there's my 6 cents telling me basically everything that I need to know. I'm going to wait a little bit. Looks like they're not fully in position to play for this gank. I also don't know if they use sums or not due to the lack of pings, but I'm hoping that maybe we can find something out of this. Yeah, there you go. Just had to make sure that we play it smart, play it slow through our Ashe. So this is definitely one of those games that you could imagine that I'm just going to preach the importance of early vision. Because as you saw, Diana invaded me early. And keeping that in mind, you know, you definitely want to make sure that you're... You definitely want to make sure that if they are gonna like early invade you, that you're able to early invade them back. Flashing on the Talia there probably wasn't the best idea because of her W and her E. Her W is pretty hard counter to Kayn, and then her E just boops me away. So yeah, it wasn't really the best idea to look for something in that way. Okay, now we're just gonna focus on getting our bot side camps, and by the time I'm done with this, I should be able to get my top side camps. I don't think that they're gonna need me here, but just in case. Yeah, the just in case is if like Ezreal E's in or something like that, right? So as a jungler, you always want to prioritize moving towards your team and the gank and the fight as opposed to farming. It is infinitely more important. But okay, so now we're going to reset and we're gonna go first item Voltaic. So typically the standard 3 items that you're gonna look for: Voltaic into Shojin into Grudge. Then after that you're gonna go Lethality. Most of the time I've been going Edge of Night. Now believe it or not, I'm actually not the only one who's been itemizing like this. The other highest rated Kayns in Korea right now, one of them actually added. Name is Carpe Diem and the other one is Yang. And they do like to build Voltaic, and they have been trying out Dark Harvest as opposed to Conquer. So this is not just a solo mindset here of what you should or shouldn't be doing. Interesting. Pantheon was here. Definitely strong enough to fight the Diana here, because look at my reset compared to hers, but I actually did not expect Pantheon to be there at all. Usually when people go 1 and 3, I guess they just start doing random stuff, especially in Korea. It's quite common. And also sees like level 2, so oh wow, she died there. I did get her flash though. That's not too bad. All things considered. It's just to kill the Pantheon. Oh, that's not good. I think she's gonna run to top scuttle. Ah, she went over this way then. Gonna go inside of him. We're gonna close the gap here. Nice. That's really good. I get double longsword here too. Oh man. Yeah, that's kind of the issue with playing in this server sometimes, is sometimes you have to kind of jungle against their support. Because look, he's already got 7 KP. 7 out of 9 is pretty intense, seeing as their jungler only has 5. Yeah, it definitely seemed like a good play until that happened, but it's all good. I just catch my topside camps. Fortunately for me, this build and this playstyle is very, very high scaling. So champs like Diana, champs like Pantheon, champs like Lee Sin, a lot of the meta junglers right now, you just hard outscale. So even if you have a bit of a rougher early game, which I won't even say I am having, I'm still ahead of the enemy jungler. The only issue is I'm gonna have to kind of 1v2, but you'll find that Red Kayn's really, really amazing at 1v2ing melee champions. So hell, you can honestly even 1v3 most of the time, especially with this itemization. This itemization is gonna set you up for that kind of success. So it looks like we're gonna lose the dragon, which is understandably so. I will say that this game isn't 100% a walk in the park, because they do have the Talia, which is a pretty harsh counter to Red Kayn. A lot of the mid mages in this meta are actually pretty hard counters to Red Kayn, like Ari's and Talia's, Cassiopeia's. So that's kind of the unfortunate thing, but other than that, it's not too problematic. As you guys can imagine, I'm getting invaded in my bot side. This means I'm just gonna counter invade their top side. I want to avoid 1v2ing them while I'm no form, right? The odds that they're coming after me is pretty high, yeah, I was gonna say. There you go. man, 1-for-1's fine. I think it's better we separate because if we fight together there, could go even worse. Alright, I'll get my bot side games. Yeah. I was able to get a camp advantage there. I know getting your form in these kind of games is quite difficult, but I'm actually not too worried about that. We're honestly just one little fight away. We could go on, I'd say Aatrox is probably our safest bet. You can either be like a dive on bot lane because Pantheon's never in bot lane, or it could just be a fight on the Aatrox because most of the time Pantheon's playing like mid jungle. Or even if I just catch him out on his own. Although I don't anticipate that being the case, so I'm just gonna go top. I'm gonna wait for my E. My E and my ulti, so I have time to farm this one camp. And if he stays after that, then I can kill him. If not, well then I couldn't have killed him in the first place. Ooh, he's resetting right now. And that should be my form if I'm correct. There it is. Yeah, see, so not impossible. Not necessarily impossible. So normally for boots, you're actually still going to go defensive boots because this is like a Lethality red, but it's also making sure they don't get one shot. So Ionian boots or Swifties or any other non-defensive boot you can imagine, it's not very good with this build and playstyle. And I think Plated's pretty good. Merc Treads is pretty plus their CC isn't really that bad. Most of it's dodgeable, or unplayable, I'd say. Alright. Looking to make plays on the mid-bot side of the map when I have Shen ulti is not a bad idea, because now I don't really have to worry about getting 1v2'd. Because it should never be a 1v2. It could always be like a 2v2. Yeah, I just want to save as much HP as I can there. We're gonna clear the vision out. Saving HP is very important when you want to try and like stick around to get the contested camp, which would be the scuttle. But both my bot laners on reset, so I'm fine to concede actually. It's like a blind concede, because yeah, you can see Pantheon ran straight there from spawn. So he already intended to contest it. I'm intending to contest the dragon, so I'll have time for that. I just have to wait for my ulti to come back up and we're fine. I'll clear most of my top side while I wait. There she is. Sweet, sweet reveal of Diana. I'll slam a control here. So now we basically have 20 seconds to stall out. And make it so she can't drag it towards her. At least not yet. Like I said, I'm trying to stall this out. Okay. There's the Shen ult I was talking about. I missed my first W, kind of played that poorly, but it's all good. Yeah, fortunately having the Shen there backing us up made that fight pretty much impossible to lose. It's one of the perks and benefits of playing with the Shen. But now it's time to get to my second item here, which will be Shojin. And yeah, the thing about this itemization of this playstyle is that, oh, she has flash. Maybe I could help her out here. Yeah, if I walk up for her, then I save her life, right? What, it wastes me 5-6 seconds and it denies them 300 gold. I'd say that's pretty worth. But, yeah, the main thing about this build is that with Voltaic, first item, the lethality and that bonus damage from the passive, and always being able to guarantee land your W through the slow, because normally that's how you combo it, you auto and then WQ. So you're guaranteeing all your damage to get off. That's going to be a lot of damage in the early game, and then after that, Shojin just makes it so you have the haste and survivability. And also, Shojin just does insanely well with like a lethality build because it's amping your abilities, and your abilities are going to be doing so much damage through that itemization, right? As you can imagine, they're going to be doing the top side objective here. You can see how Talia's kind of like tailgating me. Yeah, pick this guy out. So another item that I'm probably going to want to get here is Maw. So like I said, your first 3 core items are pretty standard. You're always going to go Voltaic, you're always going to get Shojin, you're always going to get Grudge. Those are all set in stone. But after that, you can go lethality, you can go Maw, you can get defensive. Normally those first 3 items is really all you need for damage, but if you do want to get more damage, you totally can, which is what makes this like more of a solo carry build in playstyle, which is why I really like it. So yeah, I'm actually going to slam my controller in the pit, because you never really want them to have a vision of when you're doing an objective. It gives them potential for like a steal or maybe to set up their own play. So here, I'm going to make sure I get in here. Didn't need to flash or anything. Got 2 kills for free basically. Alright. But yeah, another thing that I kind of want to point out is if you guys know how Sorelda's Grudge or Voltaic work, Voltaic gives you a slow based on your auto, and Voltaic gives you slows based on your abilities, right? So basically, a lot of people ask me, is it too many slows? Is it overkill? Well, you know, believe it or not, we actually don't go this itemization for the slows, but the reason why the slows are so useful for Kayn is because Red Kayn's biggest flaw, his biggest weakness, is the fact that he cannot stay on top of champions. Most champions, they could easily outpace him, outrun him, and they can kite him out, but this itemization makes it so he could stay on top of basically anyone. So, you know, your Lilias, your Hecarim's, your Diana with Phase Rush, you know, any champion that you really struggle to stay on top of, he doesn't really have that issue. And when you're Red Kayn and you can get all your damage off on people, you're going to notice that team fighting becomes really, really easy. Yeah. Just going to kind of wait this out here. I wanted both flashes there. A little greedy, but I think it's a good idea. Because what people don't understand about a play like that is yeah, I could flash for the Diana and try to kill her, but Talia saved her knockback. So to go into Talia is a better idea because it applies more pressure on her, which makes it harder for her to, you know, be able to use all of her abilities on me, correct? And Diana wasn't really able to turn on me because I'm strong enough to basically kill them both on my own. So getting both their flashes will basically assure that, okay, this next fight, which will be Dragon / Otacon, which Otacon is the most important objective in the game in my opinion. Baron obviously is better, Elder Drake is better, Dragon Soul is better, but at 20 minutes, getting Otacon is probably the biggest shift in tempo out of any moment in a game. Like Baron you could usually outwait, Dragon Soul 30 plus minutes, you know, you could try to deal with it. Elder, same thing. Like it's those are not as common. Otacon is being taken every game, and it's being taken around like 20 minutes every game. And like I said, yeah, that early into the game, the amount of like tempo being shifted, it's 1 second. There you go. Probably gonna be an FF here soon. But we're gonna get Shojin. No, we're actually not gonna use Rift in top here, which would be a horrible idea, but we're gonna use it in mid. So whenever you're split between 2 objectives, a top objective and a bot objective, the way that you want to play is through mid lane and mid wave. So we're gonna play through that, and we're gonna try to get mid tower while we're at it. But yeah, that's pretty much where my thought process is on that. So you can see we're at Voltaic, Shojin, and now if I want to be a little bit stronger, like let's say I thought it was going to be a closer fight, I can upgrade my boots to tier 3. Upgrading your boots to tier 3 is never a bad idea. It's usually pretty useful, I'd say. I just don't think I need to. I could be a little bit greedy and like try to get my 3rd item, because obviously a 3rd item spike is going to be better than like a what I consider like a 2.5 item spike. Alright. So I think after this we should move over here, because look at where Diana is on the map. Oh man. Huh. Dangerous. If I die there, surely we lose both objectives, and that'd be really bad. See, notice, here's the thing about Diana versus Kayn, is that her ulti will only damage me if I don't use my ulti. And if neither of us use our ulti, I don't really have to worry about, you know, her winning a 1v1 against me. The only reason she was beating me so bad is because I was kind of playing my off foot. I couldn't stand there and fight her, because I had to keep moving away while I was, you know, trading blows with her. But, yeah, she could never ulti me until my ult is down, and I'm not using my ulti until she uses her ulti, so it's kind of a game of chicken. But the thing is, I could use my ulti before she uses her ulti and not get punished for it, right? She can't use her ulti without me using my ulti. I will always win the game of chicken. It's the same thing with Lilia, same thing with Diana. There are certain champions that I would say Kayn just hard counters. And honestly, like I said, most of them are just melee champs. Red Kayn will just destroy melee champs. So yeah, at this point, we're going to look to farm this. I'm actually just going to scout around real quick. Make sure that they're not trying to first do or something. Like I said, Autocon's really important, guys. I think it's probably the most important objective in the game right now, if I'm going to be honest. Just for like the time that you get it, like I said. But something that I definitely picked up while playing in Korea. The importance of Autocon with the buffs this split. Okay. We're gonna get Last Whisper, and now, yeah, we're just gonna finish that grudge. And into their team comp, yeah, I think Maw is a really good item. 4th item, it's either Maw, Edge of Nights, or maybe if I want some armor, I can go Death Stance, or even Randuin's or Frozen Art. It's pretty interchangeable, the 4th, 5th, 6th items, all that. Usually last item I will always get GA though, so 3rd and last item, our first 3 items and last item are pretty, like, straightforward, I would say. Okay, so actually I had the ult earlier. Oh, you know actually what's a really good item? Oh yeah, Shen disconnected. Wow, that's not good. Oh, he's back. Okay, good. You know what's actually a really good item here? If I really wanted to solo carry and make sure I could kill everybody, I actually have a better item than Maw and Edge at Night. Just kind of show you guys the solo carry potential of this build. I wouldn't say this is like me limit testing. This is actually something that I stand behind. I actually think that Serpents is a really good idea here. Oh, jeez, that's unlucky. I gotta get out. Oh man. Yeah, because if you look at their front line, you have Diana with her W, you have Talia with Seraphs, and then you have Pantheon with Eclipse. So I will literally just destroy anybody in their front line, right? With this kind of itemization, I will 100% just absolutely destroy anyone in their front line. Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. I'll show you guys how scary this itemization can get. Because this itemization is, like I said, very, very, very good for solo carrying. You can see that Pantheon finally has been outscaled here. I get a controlled. Game might be over before we get to this point, but we'll see. Hopefully not. We'll see. We'll see. So a lot of you are probably wondering why Shojin. You can't build Cleaver and Grudge, right? And Grudge is the main reason why you're able to have the solo carry potential. So if you wonder to yourself why Shojin, look at how Shojin synergizes with lethality. Because the passive enhancing your abilities with lethality, that alone is why you would go Shojin here. Because you can't go Cleaver plus lethality. It's counterintuitive. Cleaver is more of a team play item. Like I said, if you want to be a good frontliner, you could do that. But you're not going to solo carry games frontlining. You will solo carry games if you're playing to actually kill people. As you can see, my damage is pretty real here. Right? Yeah, so next item, definitely Serpents. Should be able to get the 2 inhibs. There's Serpents. GG's. Hope you boys enjoyed.